Grab your snacks and secure your seats. It's all happening live, right here, right now. Buckle up because the action is about to kick off.
Good evening, Curling Fest. As you can see, I am all alone by myself here. The full responsibility to carry this stream tonight. John cannot attend me tonight for this evening stream, but don't worry, you don't have to miss them for too long. Tomorrow we have a lot of games, 4 games, and then even on Sunday, 2 more games. So it's going to be a full packed weekend of curling here tonight at the Curling Club here in Zemst. Welcome everybody who is joining in. This is the World Curling Tour event here in Belgium. We are Curdia. We are broadcasting this stream on the World Curling Tour TV YouTube channel. Normally we are over at our own YouTube channel, but for this special event we will host it with a big international audience, and we have some exciting games for you. For people who are just tuning in, for people who are just watching this event for the first time, the men's challenger here in Belgium, we have about 10 teams from 9 different nations competing in this event here. As you can see here, 2 Belgian teams, the only 2 Belgian teams on the roster. And aside from that, we have a lot of countries represented, especially from the Nordics. We have a Norwegian team, Swedish team, a Finnish team. Unfortunately, not a Danish team. Otherwise, it could have been like all complete. And we even have a Chinese team visiting here, playing in the league, and that is apparently not only for us a nice occasion to have a Chinese team coming over, but like an hour ago we had a special visitor here at the club. The Chinese ambassador of Belgium apparently came over to visit the club and visit the Chinese team. He drove over with a big luxurious car with the 2 Chinese flags sitting in the front, and then walked in, had a full ceremony. He had people bringing in lots of pictures, so that was a quite nice little surprise here. Chinese ambassador visiting. So if, for instance, perhaps the Swedish ambassador is watching or the Norwegian ambassador is watching, a trend has been set and everybody's welcome to tap in. What's also a deal with Curdia is we don't just stream the matches, we comment them, and we are open for feedback. We know who's watching, at least we don't know in person, but we know that people are watching, and we have chat always open, and we can see already some people tuning in. We have Albert tuning in, and Hilko. I assume by the names, those are fans of the Dutch team playing Tilburg and Utrecht. They have brought their team because we're going to stream a match of Team Ros against Team Bjørke tonight. I'm pretty excited for this matchup for both teams. It's their second game of the tournament, and yeah, I think they lost their first game, so it's already a little bit of an interesting game to see if they can finish the first day here with perhaps their first win. To give you an idea on what's in the calendar, we are having 3 matches today. This is our 3rd session. We already had 2 sessions. As you can see, Team Ros, they lost their first against Team Westerberg, and then Team Bjørke had a very, very, very close win or close loss against Team Vreken. They had a 1-point advantage coming into the 7th end. Team Vreken with the hammer decided to blank that 7th end, going for that 2-point hammer efficiency in the 8th, and they managed to do so, winning 5/4 against Team Bjørke, but they had to reset, of course, because they have a next important game, this one. And then tomorrow we have a full packed schedule with 4 games. Starting off tomorrow at 8:30 in the morning on our B sheet, we'll have Team Dalle against Hanninen. 4 games for you on screen, and by tomorrow evening the group stage will be finalized, because on Sunday is money time here in Belgium at the event. We have our final matches, and we'll have a semi-final and a final coming up for you guys, because each group will represent 2 teams coming into this knockout stage, 2 semi-finals, and then around 12:30 in the afternoon we'll have our big golden finale. So by tomorrow evening we'll probably know which teams are entering at this stage, and this is basically also where the money can be earned. There's a prize pool of around 2,800 euros, 1,200 for the winner, 800 for the second, and then the rest of the money split between third and fourth. So it's pretty important to get yourselves in this knockout to earn some of the entry fee money back, and maybe, who knows, walk away with a huge amount of number, a four-figure number here in Belgium. What's also typical for Curlia is we do our predictions. We try to predict the winner of each game, and we invite you guys over at chat to do the same. We sometimes have a poll, but if you have a fan favorite, or if you think you know who's going to win, let us know in chat, and we hope to see as many fans out there as possible. I can see already some people kind of tapping in for the Dutch team. Obviously, Dutch team here, kind of our friendly neighbors, so they have a habit of rallying lots of supporters, and we also know a couple of the guys here. I think Bart Klomp, he plays with the Tilburg curling club team, also in the Belgium curling league. Belgium curling league is becoming this kind of Central European league with 32 teams of I think 8 different nations. I think Team Romania is also coming over here to play that league. Teams coming over from the UK, France, Spain even. So yeah, Curling Club Semst might be a small venue, but it's growing and it's becoming like a big thing here in Belgium every year. The curling is growing in Belgium, and you guys get to be part of that. But about the predictions, John's not here. He didn't run away because he lost his 2 predictions. He had to go to a birthday party, but he will be here tomorrow. But he did mention his pick for tonight, and he is going for Team Bjørke. Team Bjørke just playing a very strong game against Team Vreken. Vreken, the winner of last year's event. We don't know that much about Team Bjørke, but the way they've played, they had a very solid game against the best team in Belgium, the Belgium national men's team. Not just any team. They were able to reach the playoffs of the European Curling Championships B division and were knocked out by Denmark, also in a very close game there. So that says something about the quality, of course, of Team Vreken, but also of Team Bjørke. And then Team Ros, they are not the Dutch men's national team, but maybe, who knows, in the future if they can challenge Team Hoskins perhaps. I don't know if the Dutch Curling Federation is planning on hosting that type of challenge, maybe someday in the far future. In Belgium, that's the case. Team Vreken, they have to play this weekend in this event, but next weekend they will be playing the challenger to decide who will be the men's national team for next season, and they have one competitor, one team challenging them. They play in the other group, and that is Team Dalle, known as the Desperate Housekeepers here in Belgium. So 10 teams divided over 2 groups basically, Group A and Group B. And Group A, you can see that the Chinese team, Team Chu, had a very strong start, 2 wins of two games basically, so they can go home tonight or go to the hotel with a pretty good feeling. They are sitting in a comfortable position to claim a spot in the top 2 and claim a spot in the knockout phase. Also Team Mercier winning this morning against Team Geising. Dalle had the loss against Chu, and also Haninen didn't manage to win against the Chinese team. And then over at the other group, we have the group of Team Vreken. Westerberg is sitting top of that group with 2 victories. And then you have Team Bjørke hoping to score their first win, but so is Team Ros. Both teams are looking to kind of settle on the same level of Team Vreken, and then maybe try and compete, battle against Team Vreken. Bjørke obviously not winning in the first game against Team Vreken, but for Team Ros, maybe, who knows. So, back to the predictions. John mentioned his prediction already up front, and he let me know he's going for, sorry for all the Ros fans in chat, but he's going for Team Bjørke. So his money is in there. Although he has kind of a record, I couldn't call it a streak in the first stream, but now I can. So he's trying to claim his first victory in our little prediction battle here. And to be honest, I understand why he picked Bjørke. I just watched part of the last couple of events of Team Bjørke against Vreken, because the match we streamed previously, the Hungarian team, the PTSE team against Team Westerberg. Westerberg were obviously the better team in that game. Ended after 6-0, so we had a little bit of time to watch the other games. Bjørke just made a very, very strong impression. But over on Team Ross. Apparently they have a champion that is being celebrated here in chats. Hessel is perhaps a celebrity in the Netherlands. Who knows if he can carry his team to victory? We'll know soon enough. According to Albert, he can, but it's a sport, so he'll have to prove it and prove his worth. I'll have to wait and see how he will perform. On my side of the predictions, I am going for it's a bit of a doubt, to be honest, but I'm still going for Bjørke, just by the impression they left against Team Verreken. I guess if you're able to get a team like Team Verreken in troubles, then I think that says something. Whereas the Dutch team, they played the last couple of editions and did not manage to get into the knockouts. So, like, based just purely on statistics and the numbers, I think Team Bjørke should have the edge, but anytime they can surprise, and who knows, maybe tonight. I hope so. One thing we hope for sure is it's going to be an exciting game, coming down all the way to the last zone, and I can see the players have kicked off their game, so let's hop over to the ice and see what is happening over there. You can see the game has kicked off, and Team Bjørke seems to not have the hammer. Okay. Catching up with the scoreboard here. And it's off to the Dutch team. Dutch team obviously wearing the orange jerseys. That's one certainty in life. Dutchies playing in orange. Never had any different color. Maybe sometimes they play in blue, but basically orange is their signature color. They're very proud of that color, and it stands out. Coming around the guards, nicely catching the red stone. Excellent stone here. Well, this game is underway. Over on the other two sheets, we have the Germans, Team Geising, playing against Team Dalle. And on sheet C, Team Heininen playing against Team Mercier. An excellent stone here for Team Ross. Setting up strong so far. And we have 2 Hessels on the team here at Team Ross, so the Hessel fans, I assume they're rooting for both Hessels here. Somebody making the comment like, hey, Hessel hairdressers have been open for quite some time. COVID is behind us, so I'll let the viewers be the judge of that. But Hessel Janssens is apparently the GOAT. And, the skip of the Norwegian team wearing an orange cap. I don't know if that's going to be a way to jinx the team's performances. It's kind of wearing the opponent's colors. Now it's Bart's turn. Bart's playing a very, very strong game last weekend. Game against Team Luxembourg. Was a bit of luck involved, but that doesn't matter sometimes. Trying to curl behind the guards. Is it carrying deep enough? Feels a bit light. They can always try and tap it better, but for now, yellow is sitting shot, and they are trying to give that Yellowstone a small bump to bump it on the button, on the pin. And Hilko saying some great stones by the Norwegian team so far. I must say I can only agree with that comment. The Norwegian team, they had a very strong performance, as mentioned earlier, against Team Vreken. Let's see if they can continue on that performance. They have, of course, a bit of the advantage that they can play 2 consecutive games in a row. Sometimes that helps. Interesting. I don't think that was the intention. Looking at the way the game evolved from here. Floris looking at angles. He knows that yellow is still sitting shots. They have hammer, but center is all blocked up so far. So guessing what to do. At least keep open one side to make a final draw if needed. Going for a small tap and roll. Get rid of the Yellowstone and roll to the center. And coming inside out for this one. Now Albert is asking what is hammer, and that's a good question. You can see the hammer symbol in the scoreboard. Basically, the hammer is assigned to the team that is playing the last stone. So that's basically having the advantage to be playing the last stone. That's what's called having the hammer. And then a term you'll sometimes hear is having hammer efficiency, Normally, a team with the hammer is expected to have, let's say, the advantage, and therefore is also expected to win the end and also score more than 1 point. If you just score 1 point on your hammer end, then you don't have hammer efficiency. Sometimes that's what the opponent is trying to force you in. Make sure that you have a minimal score on your hammer end, and then the other team will try and score 2 or more on their hammer and kind of make the difference. And if you're able to win an end where you don't have the hammer, that's what people call a steal, and it's comparable to, let's say, going through the service like you have in tennis. And the second question, why is it called the hammer and not the nail or something else? Well, long ago, when curling was really kind of an old sport, the scoreboards were hung up with little cards that were put up on a nail, and they used a hammer kind of to nail the score on the scoreboard. So that hammer that was being used for that was also used as a means to indicate which team was throwing the last stones. And that's how that, throwing last stones got its name. But that's a bit of a curling history lesson here, but maybe a fun fact. If at some point you have to attend a quiz and that's a random question, who knows? And Team Bjørke trying to come in, is sitting second shot, but leaves a bit of a hit and roll because it is exposed, and that's a way for the Dutch team kind of come in, use that yellow stone to tap and roll to the pin and sit shots. That could be a nice angle. I think this is the option they're looking for. And they're discussing like what weight should we throw. Yellow has to move backwards far enough to not be too dangerous anymore. And it's also a matter of figuring out where to put the broom, because they need a little bit of a curl, a little bit of a curve to hit the yellow stone on the inside to make that roll. Not an easy stone. Kind of, explaining it makes it seem like a simple, straightforward choice, but curling is often called chess on ice. Well, the difference with chess is here you still have to execute on the plan, and the art is in the execution. And the pressure is often on the fourth player to consolidate and get the revenue. This seems okay. Coming past the guards, hitting yellow on the right side and gently rolling to the center. Excellent stone here from Floris. There is a potential run back, but very, very good stone. Through what was asked, and now pressure is on the Norwegian team, because Team Ross is sitting 1. They have a hammer, so they get to throw the last stone, and there is still an option to draw into the forefoot to score 2 points. So, and again, also nice sweeping there. It's always a team collaboration. The thrower delivers the stone, but then it's up to the team to decide if the line's right, if it needs some extra sweeping, all of that. Bjørke trying to come around and do a better draw. Not easy, because it really has to come into the inner white circle. The space is pretty narrow. Comes around the guard, and can they leave it on the pin, hard to see. We don't have a clear angle, and it is sitting shot and an excellent draw here for Kjetil Bjørke, and sets up the Norwegian team with a potential draw. And as you can see, it's slightly exposed. So the question is, can Team Ross with a little bit of weight come around, tap yellow back and score 2? But what a tremendous stone here for the Norwegians. And the pressure is back on the Dutch team. Bart and Floris figuring out a battle plan here. Are they looking at other options other than like heavy draw? I don't think so. So it's going to be a heavy draw. Basically, they have to do more or less the same stone. Kjetil Bjørke just threw, and the tolerances, they can be slightly heavy because it can have the little tap, but it's such a narrow space to squeeze around those two stones sitting in front of the shot stone. It's not going to be an easy one here. And in the meanwhile, I have Gerry, tournament organizer, joining me here at the booth. You are just in time, Gerry, to watch this final stone of the first end. Team Bjørke managed. Yeah, Team Bjørke did an excellent draw here, and now it's up to Team Ross to follow up with an equal excellent draw. Maybe a tap back for 2, but I think they would be pretty happy if they can find just the right line to get around the guards. It's not going to be easy. Sweepers are on it. Full sweeping. Needs to get around the guards, but I think this is light taps the first guard, and this is going to be a steal of 1 for Team Bjørke. So exciting end, but the Norwegians end up stealing this first end. It's just a steal of 1, of course, but excellent play here. Still a long run. 7 ends to go, but that was pretty close, and Dutch team, they really had to sweep hard.
Yeah, and I guess I don't need to apologize to everybody viewing. I guess you told them that I was going to be late.
Yes, yes.
But just in time for that the crucial last rock, and you saw that over curl, and quite a few teams today have been caught out at times. And you know what it is? Our running bands are getting quite wide, which means that, and you probably have seen this, that the stones keep fairly straight, quite long, and then they have a very aggressive cut right at the end. And you know, if you're not really good at judging when that is going to happen, then you know, if the skip sees it happening and then he shouts sweep and then they start sweeping, then basically you're too late. So not just the skip, but the sweepers really need to judge it well to be able to manage that late curl effectively. So
yeah.
what's fill me in on the predictions. Who did John choose?
John picked Team Bjørke as his candidate to win the game, and I basically followed this pick based on the strong performance of Team Bjørke against Team Vreken earlier. I think they were very close to defeating Team Vreken. Came down to the last couple of stones in the last end, so I think that was kind of more or less a reason. And next to that is we have seen Team Ross in this event earlier. I don't remember them reaching the knockout phase, so kind of mapping those two together gave Team Bjørke the slight edge against Team Ross.
Yeah, I would have to agree. It's probably going to be a good game, I think. Unless somebody runs away with a heavy end at one point, but that's always the case. But no, I think they'll give each other a good match, but I would have to lean towards our Norwegian friends as well. Yeah.
Yeah, and I must say, Gary, congratulations on promoting the event, because I think we have a very good kind of roster here with, I think, strong teams, but also teams that are kind of balanced. That Team Westerberg left a strong impression, Chinese team. Even Bjørke left a strong impression. You have Team Hanninen reaching the final last year. Team Vreken, obviously, always a good candidate. So there are kind of multiple teams that aim to get in the knockout phase. And then I'm forgetting even Team Mercier, the French national team. They were 4th in the European B divisions. just did not manage to get into the playoffs because of the lost game against Poland. They had 5 wins, so kind of strong lineup this year.
Yeah, and the Swedish team, I'm not sure if you mentioned them, but they're pretty strong as well from what we've seen today. So pretty impressed with them too.
Yep.
And China, yeah, I mean, both games that they've played, teams have been looking like they can keep up with them, and then just but they keep the other ones to 1, and then they hit them with a couple of deuces, and and it's in the bag. So even the teams that feel like they can keep up, they get caught out anyway. So they're definitely looking strong. And personally, I was really pleased. I mean, as you know, in our first edition, we had a team from Asia, we had South Korean folks come over. Not so much last year, so it's really, really cool to have an Asian team visiting again. And I think it's also interesting for our European players, right? Because I mean, the teams that tend to play regularly, like our national team, they know the Finns really well. They played the French team quite a few times, so getting to see a team that and play a team that they don't encounter all that often is pretty exciting for them too.
Definitely. Yeah, there was one thing Team Bjørke mentioned. They really hope to face the Chinese team in this event, but they're not in the same group, so that might only occur in the semis or even the final. Who knows?
Yeah. On the other hand, I guess it gives them more chance for them to prolong their title.
Yeah, indeed.
From what we've seen from our Chinese friends. So.
Because I was trying to recall, like last year, Vreken won in the final against Haninen, and I think the year before we had a South Korean team playing against Team Turkey.
Turkey, yeah.
But I forgot who won the final there. I think it was
Turkey.
Yeah.
Yeah, Turkey. Turkey won, and I think Vreken came third that time.
Yeah, they were defeated by Team Hertman, but I don't know if that was in the semi-final or in the quarterfinal.
Yeah, we can look that up. And last year it was Team Raju getting the bronze against Hertman.
Yep. Yeah, Team Raju from India last year, so always an intercontinental team present here at the World Curling Tour. Belgium Men's Challenger, and that's a long title to spell out.
People can say the Belgium WCT easy enough, right?
Yeah, that's true.
But then again, we're going to have our mixed event in April, so that means there's 2 of them, so... Okay. Yeah, nice top 8 foot there.
And they get it around the guards. They can. Yep. And then Yellowstone in the back, tapping out Yellow. Is not sitting shot, but decent play.
Very nice bump against that Yellow there. 4 foot still open. Yeah. Again, with that aggressive curl at the end, it's still very doable to get to the button in the 4 foot, but very nice shot there.
Yeah, I'm a bit behind the stones indeed.
Score?
Yep. The score was a steal of 1 for Bjørke.
Oh, sorry.
Yep.
Yeah, sorry, mate. It's been a long day.
Yeah, I can imagine because you have to do quite a lot of things. Hospitality for the teams, updating the World Curling Tour website, the live scores. I guess all of the practicalities that come with organizing a tournament that I'm forgetting here.
Playing host to the Chinese ambassador.
Also, yeah, I heard about that one.
Not every year we get lofty visitors like that. So that was pretty nice that he was here with the first secretary was there as well, for them to come down and have a look at their team and cheer them on. So we had quite a big Chinese contingent here this afternoon. Easily like 10-15 people.
How did they come up with kind of visiting? How did they discover that the Chinese team was playing this event? Were they notified by the Chinese team, or are they huge curling fans? I don't know.
Well, the ambassador was telling me that it definitely wasn't his first rodeo. He attended the Beijing Olympics and he saw quite a bit of curling there. But I think the teams or the federation just notifies the embassy of whatever country they're going to play in. So and it seems to be the week for the Chinese teams to come to Europe, because the ladies are playing in the Bernese Cup in Switzerland this week. So I guess we got lucky and we got the men's.
Yeah, it was quite an impressive visit, because I noticed the car the ambassador was driving, although I don't think he was driving himself. But it was the official car with the two flags in front of the
flags.
Yeah. So what is holding the Dutch ambassador from visiting Team Ross here this weekend?
Hey, Bart with a pretty hard peel.
Yeah, I think they want to just open things up here.
Yeah. It gets two of them. Yeah. Another parking lot wait being called for.
Yep.
Vettel touching his cap there for the non-initiated. Yeah, if a skip touches his head, that's basically throw it as hard as you can, and preferably in the right direction.
That's indeed a small detail.
Looks like a 7 seconds hog to hog. Smack on top of the red. Yeah, they were always lined up for all three of them to go. So
nice triple takeout, but as you said, it was kind of an open invite to throw this kind of peel weight takeouts. But still, very pleasing to watch stones like that and kind of hear stones banging.
Yeah, Skip says make him go away, and the thrower says, "Yeah, no worries, mate. I can take care of that for you."
And that's typically like a skill your third thrower needs to possess, because making things open or kind of turning things in your favor again is not rarely a job you need to do on a position.
They really want this one to roll, but yeah.
Couldn't quite find a roll there.
Has Chateau forgotten his hair broom? He was sliding with a hair broom earlier today.
No, really?
Not sure if you noticed. You don't see
No,
many
I
of them
didn't notice.
anymore. Yeah. Maybe he's got it lying around at the other end, so.
That's the first time I've seen somebody like pick up the stone this high to clean it. Normally they just tilt it and then clean the bottom, but don't really lift it from the ice surface.
Yeah, and as an ice maker, when you see that, they do it once, right? Because afterwards you slap them, so make sure they never do it again. Yeah. But he's an ice maker himself, so I guess he's
entitled to that privilege.
Well, not really entitled, but I guess he knows not to put it down and not damage the ice.
Yeah.
Maybe it's his way of impressing the other team. I don't know. Looking like, I'm a big Viking. I can lift this. No worries. Just losing a shooter there. It's a pity for them.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. As a regular curling player, you always have this kind of weird feeling when you see somebody lift up a stone over a meter high.
Can't be awfully good for your back either, but I guess he's used to it. He's got it down to a T because I looked at the ice afterwards and there wasn't a nick in it. So yeah.
I couldn't recall from memory, but do you know, Gary, if Floris Ross was also part of the mixed team that beat Team Canada in the World Mixed, and that basically knocked Canada out of the tournaments?
I would have to look that one up, but I can have a look because I need to. In a moment, I need to go over and yeah, put in some scores on the WCT site anyway. For sure, he was in the Dutch juniors for quite a while. I think he aged out now. I'm not quite sure, but
Fortunate missing takeout here, but still receives quite some Hessel support there. We have confirmation by Lysenka Bomas that he was in the team, and Lysenka can know, obviously.
yeah.
She can witness firsthand. That was yeah.
Una Malone stayed.
Oh yeah, yeah. We have Dutch people in chat, so we have the very colorful language there.
Yeah, we still have to face them face to face, so we need to hear what we're saying, right?
Yeah. But yeah, that was I think a very, very strong performance. And you have the claim forever that you can say, well, I remember that time when we kicked Canada out of a world curling event. Just the sentence alone is pretty impressive.
Yeah. No worries there, putting that one in the house. So yeah. Can they take it out and be shot? Otherwise, it's a draw against two.
Yeah, feels it's definitely forced to one here, and have to look if a takeout will give them shot position. I kind of doubt it. Feels like it's sitting a bit in the back, so the draw seems to be the safer option. Just draw in the forefoot. It's probably better than trying takeout with the risk of even rolling out. And Manon proposing, blank. Blank is also something a team with a hammer would do if you don't have a chance to score two or more. But indeed, as Manon said, blank is also pretty difficult. So looks like they have to settle and accept the 1 point.
Yeah, the odds of making that draw is pretty high.
Feels like this is not curling enough. It feels a bit wide. Sweepers indicating they hope to bring it in, but it just stays wide. And now it's wide and heavy. Slides through the house, and this is a steal of two. Honestly, I did not expect to see, especially because they had a little bit of backing over on that side.
Yeah. Heavy and wide, deadly combination.
Yeah. So not the best start here for the Dutch team. We've seen it this morning where Team Mercier also started pretty strong against Team Geising with a little bit of luck. Getting some mistakes from your opponent, and all of a sudden they had a 3-point lead after 2 wins. That is the case for the Norwegian team so far, and they were gifted it a bit. So it's up to Team Ross to debrief, figure out how this missed draw could have happened, and
Yeah, maybe something he wasn't quite coming out of the hack the way you wanted to, because I mean you would expect the skip, to get that one 8 or 9 out of 10 for sure. And he had backing, so all he had to do was not be wide, right?
Yep. It's so easy if you're sitting here on a comfortable chair in the warm canteen, but
Ain't that straight? Damn straight. Okay, I'm gonna update some scores.
yes. Going for a corner guard here. It's, the setup if you want to score. Although this corner guard is hitting a little bit too much to the side, very hard to really kind of come in behind it. Lightly overcurled there. Sweeper sweeping hard to get it around. Will not happen, but splitting the house this way. And a second corner guard here for Team Ros.
Quick update on the other sheets, maybe. So sheet A, Geising is up 2-1 against Dalla. And then on sheet C, we've got Hanninen up by 2-0.
Yeah, I think Hanninen should or could be a favorite against Team Mercier, although it could be a balanced game. Geising, yeah, they played against Westerberg this morning, so it was a hard game for them. But we'll see how they do against Dalla. Dalla made a pretty decent impression against the Chinese team. They were in the race quite long, but as you mentioned, that's maybe the illusion that Chinese team gives you by allowing you to kind of stay in that race.
No, for sure they played well. I think they actually played a little bit above their regular level, if we can call it that. But yeah, China definitely a bit too strong for them.
But I think the goal for Team Dalla is probably to play a strong tournament and prep for next weekend's men's national team challenger.
Yeah, because I don't think they've played abroad at all this year, so it's really the only exposure they have to some teams that they don't normally play.
Yeah. And luckily, of course, the Belgium Curling League has a couple of international teams, but that's still not kind of the the same as you would see on a World Curling B Division Championship or even World Curling Tour events?
No, there's a couple of teams in the A League that are a decent level. But yeah, I mean, the majority of the teams in BCL, basically, they're club level teams. Huh? I mean, they know they're curling, but if you compare it to the top 4, the top 6 in this field, that's a different story. So the teams we have here this week, they're, if you look at the curling zone world rankings, they're between 30 and something like 300. Then, if some of the BCL teams would play some external tournament, they would be probably ranked like 600 or 700. So yeah, there's a bit of difference in level there.
Yeah, obviously.
Trying to hold this, but
over curls, unfortunately. And now did has not touched the Yellowstone, wasn't sure, but just rolls to the side, not the type of takeout they were looking for here. And 3 Yellowstones in the house. 3 stones Team Ross has to deal with if they want to score some points here, preferably 2. But I think first job will be to get on the board.
Yeah, Bart has got his definitely got a bit of clearing to do on this next one, because 3 in the house and they're spaced out somewhat. So I mean, the triple is there if there's no guard.
There you have it.
Yeah. Hit and roll is there. If you then can crawl, you probably can't just crawl behind, or well, maybe you can. A big shot coming up for Team Ross here.
Yeah, expect some weight on this one.
Yeah, well, I didn't mean big in terms of weight, but really, if they get this one really good, it's going to set them up in this end a little bit to start crawling back.
Needs to find some curl to find a roll. That's a nose hit. We have Kjetil Bjørke looking at it. Should we take it out?
Yeah, for sure. Take out and roll away, so there's nothing left for Team Ross to hit at, or at least makes it a very difficult roll. So
yeah, the kind of comfortable thing for the Norwegian team is they can basically they're and then in the initiative they get to decide what's happening, and as long as they execute on their stones, they control the end.
yeah, for sure. I mean, it's early days, but they can definitely, now afford to.
Yeah, it's kind of a win-win, right? I mean, steal's fine, but also just allowing Ross to score 1 is a good result.
Curl to the outside. Might still be a. Yeah, it looks like there's a double there still. Yeah, or a hit and roll behind. Yeah, hit and roll behind is the ideal. 'Cause if it's a thick for the double, then he's going to be poking out again.
And Bart coming over. Sometimes the arena can be a bit loud, and then it's hard to communicate back and forth. There is no clock in these matches, so then maybe it's better and more efficient to just sweep over and have that discussion. They're looking at the hit and roll here. At least that's Bart's proposal.
Well, I'm the clock. If they're too slow, I'm going to get out there and tell them to move on.
Yeah, I heard that the previous game, Verreken against Bjørke was on the slow side. Was that true, or was
Yeah,
it because we
They were-
finished fast?
No, they were more than one end behind, so I had to go in and tell them to speed up. Yeah, fortunately, Mark knows what he's doing, and I was able to help a bit, so he still got the ice ready on time. But
Yeah, because there was a risk with the tie. I think with a tie you have an extra end, and even if
As
you have a
well.
slow game and
Yeah.
then an extra end on top, the ice maker is probably not happy knowing that the next matches are pretty close after the finish of the matches before.
okay, pretty interesting choice here. So he's going with a hack weight and probably trying to bump then, but looks like they might still only be third shot then. So
Is it hitting the guard here? I
getting,
think it is.
getting caught out again.
Guard serves its purpose, and that's not really helping the Dutchies a lot. Another stone that is not really giving them that much value. Struggling a bit with maybe the lines over on that side.
Yeah, it is. I mean, this session, it does look like it's curling a little bit more. I mean, obviously, I flooded on Tuesday evening, started working on the ice with Mark on Wednesday. So, yeah, obviously Thursday and this morning, the ice was still a little bit green. But yeah, definitely, we've seen during the practice session that it does look like it's curling a touch more, and then if you don't figure it out quick enough, then you're getting caught out, right?
I think I heard Joel Westerberg saying that on the B sheet, it is quite consistent in the amount of curl on both sides, which helps to put brooms.
Yeah, there's some weird stuff happening on the sea. I mean, we probably talked about it on the broadcast before that, the last couple of weeks, because of the airflow, we've had some almost negative ice on the side of the wall. So we've turned our heating off, but now it almost looks like the subsoil is moving, because there's like two streaks, roughly, 6-8 foot, where Mark was shaving the ice for this last session, and he could barely get the pebble off there. So very, very strange stuff happening out on sea. So we'll see if we can, with some extra pebbling and stuff, we can get that fixed
Yeah, because
tomorrow
indeed,
morning.
that's kind of an advantage having Mark coming over for this event. It's also an opportunity, I guess, to have lots of discussions and a kind of a consultancy and advice on how to maintain the ice here in Zemst with the specific conditions of this venue.
Oh no, I mean, he can't teach me a thing anymore, but just kidding. Yeah, talking with him is always an education. So yeah, it's really nice having him here, for sure.
Because here in Zemst, there are quite a lot of initiations. I forgot about the number, but I think it's a 5-digit number in terms of how many people visit the club for initiations. Is that something you have to kind of work into the ice maintenance, knowing that a lot of non-curling players on just regular shoes and slide-on steppers are present and playing on the ice here?
Too much. Yeah, I mean, for sure you get a lot of dirt on the ice, right? Because they don't have dedicated shoes. I mean, we do try and clean them as much as we can, but so you get a lot of dirt on the ice. And then the biggest problem really is people sitting on the ice with their knees and their hands and their bum, and they don't realize that only a couple of seconds is enough to start melting the ice. And then if somebody stays with his knee on the ice for the whole duration of the time that his rock is traveling from one sheet of the end to the other, they really burn holes in the ice, and so much so that sometimes even if it's been scraped and pebbled, that you can still see those patches. And in competitions, it can make a difference, right? That your rock might react a bit funny if it just hits one of these patches in a bad way. So, I mean, you can repair them, but it's it just takes time, which is time that we would rather spend on doing other ice maintenance stuff.
Yeah, can imagine. Team Bjørke looking at angles here.
If they can just stagger those guards a bit, then Team Ross is left with a draw on the right hand side as we see it. I mean, obviously, the old adage, they can't block both sides, but actually, maybe we're not seeing the angles, but I'm actually just a little bit surprised that they're blocking off that side.
Yeah, I feel like the draw over on the other side is slightly more open, unless they're trying to give that shotstone a slight tap. But then it needs to curl quite a lot. And even with a slight tap, will that work? Can they sweep it and get it in? That side seems to be all blocked off right now. I think that leaves just one more option for Team Ross here, which is just drawing over the other side.
Yeah. Try and touch the side of the button. It's there, but as we saw the previous end, it's not always that easy if you're there in the hack and having to get it right.
Not that much space indeed. And if you're playing lost stones for your team, it's not always easy to kind of have to play these types of shots where, you know, if I succeed, we score the minimal amount on our hammer, but if for some reason it overcurls, this is light, whatever, you can face a steal of 3. So there's some kind of negative pressure with these kind of stones.
Yeah, that's why they pay the skips the big bucks, right?
Oh, they do? Yeah.
Looks like he's got the line, but they gotta be careful of that
Definitely a
last
touch more
minute
ice.
cut.
Needs to find that final curve.
Bit too heavy again.
It's definitely not shot. It is a second shot, and that's another steal here for the Norwegians. Strong performance here, putting a huge amount of pressures on the Dutch team. Flory's not able to bail the team out of their misery. So maybe a very hard way of putting it, but there's only one way, and that's kind of keep trying, pushing forwards. The next end can always be better. And I hope that the little dip in the scoreboard didn't affect the Dutch fans in chat too much. They have a bit, they quiet down a little bit, hoping for this comeback moment to kick in. And Team Ross opening with a very nice corner guard. First step towards scoring a couple of points here. Sure where they wanted this zone, but it is coming behind the shot stone over there. Team Ross trying to come around behind the corner guards, did not quite find the curl. It is a bit exposed, also sitting a bit in the back of the house, but it's usable. Although I think looking from the hacks, you can see almost 3/4 of that stone, so I don't worry about it too much right now. And still going for that center line setup. Yeah, sitting strong here. Team with the yellow stones. And now part 2 of the corner guard strategy. Clearing the build-up of your opponent. Making sure the middle is all open again. And finding the first stone, probably hoping for a double takeout here, because with those yellow stones sitting in the house, I think just taking out one at a time will not do the job, because that allows Team Bjørke to just replace the guard over and over. There it is. Now Floris doubting, should I take the guard first or should I try and get to the stones in the house, since the guard's overcurled a little bit. I think going for that second option, leaving the center guard for now. Bart indicating it feels a bit heavy. Needs to find some curl. Also wide according to Floris, but starts to curl real nice right now. Coming in, and it will tap back yellow. An excellent stone here for Hessel Janssens. Meanwhile, we welcome back Gary. Gary updating the scores of the other two matches.
And having us a small chat with the competitions administrator from the BCA, Dirk.
Ah, the mustache man.
Yeah, mustache man. Just walked into the building to have a look. That was a nice tap back on the previous, eh?
Yes.
Team Ross.
And Team Ross, they are looking at options to score at least 2 on their hammer. After this end, we are halfway the game. I think 4-2 is a different way to enter the break than 4-1. But it's easier said than done, of course. They have the hammer though, but they would need to make sure at least they have an option to score that second point with a last stone.
Maybe it's optical, that looked a little bit wide. Are you trying to catch that zone from the outside or just inside and roll? That's coming. Yeah, needs to curl a bit more. Yeah, that was always the danger of hitting their own if you don't get it right. Are they trying to put all the rocks in the 12-foot?
I guess so.
Might be a nice practice game.
I mean, it makes sense. The center guard is still there, so then again, if you come slightly too deep, it's easier to get rid of the shot stone using the redstone.
Yeah, I really think the safest option for them is to, play a hack weight, get that red on the low side, bump it out.
Yeah, I think getting rid of red sitting there should be a good option here again. They don't necessarily need to steal. The only thing they're worried about is
They're definitely not going to steal because that's or I mean, yeah, they're not going to keep it. Let's put it that way because that's going to spill. But okay, solid peel.
Yeah, catching stone in the back there. Yeah, the only thing Team Bjørke cares about at this stage, I guess, is just preventing Team Ross from scoring a big end. They will allow them to score 1 in return of the hammer.
Yeah, 4 up. You don't need to get cute. Just play the scoreboard.
Yep.
Because for sure, a hack weight, tap out and roll. That was definitely a lot more difficult than just peeling it.
Yeah, the Dutch fans, they are always optimistic. That's kind of known. Also mentioning in chat, it's not over till it's over. I think that that is the spirit. It's just 4 points, 4 runs to go after this one. We've seen crazier stuff in other matches, so it's definitely not a lost cause. But Team Bjørke, they seem to kind of make a good impression, seem to control the game. This one coming in a bit deep. So if Team Bjørke is able to freeze up against it or just come to the pin, that redstone will serve as a chamber, making it harder to remove a yellow stone.
Yeah, the line was perfect, but they really wanted that one top button, eh? might need to go out and tell them to speed up because they're...
If you're going out, do you mind checking if the skip mics are on mute?
Okay.
So it's a bit of a thinking game so far. Feels like the decision has been made. Yettel going over to the hack side to deliver the stone.
Yeah, he cleans it off and then he puts it down exactly on the spot where
where the dirt fell, yeah.
Another reason not to do what he's doing, but anyway.
Also, putting the broom in your neck is a technique you don't often see. I know they teach it in the Ghent Curling Club.
Yeah, but I mean, you wouldn't... If somebody walks into my club clinic, I would kind of try and get them out of that habit ASAP, because it can actually be quite dangerous. If you're not a veteran like Shettel is, then and you fall over, you can seriously hurt yourself if you put your broom in your neck, so your broom handle. Okay, yeah, so that was always going to happen. So, yeah, Team Ross.
Yeah, they have to deal with that yellow stone, and because the red stone is sitting right behind it, makes it quite difficult to get it out, but they don't really have a choice. They maybe can tap it back and then hope to kind of make it a little bit of a tap situation. What would you do in this event? I mean, yellow is sitting pretty strong so far. As you can see by the hand gesture of Bart, it's like, yeah, don't really have that much option. Maybe just chip it on the side, but that will spill the shooter. And you know they're going to do the exact same draw right after.
Yeah, with a perfect draw, you can still get shot. If you're... Yeah, I think the way it cuts, you probably can draw it a little bit shorter and bump that yellow just sideways, which gives you more options the next time round.
Yeah.
If you want to spill it coming from the right where they are, you're always going to lose your shooter.
Yep.
And if you hit it the wrong way, you're just jamming it on your own red, which is kind of risky. That's ice for probably like, yeah, but back 12-ish, maybe hack. So we'll see what they're...
Yeah, Flory's explaining to the sweepers what the plan is. It's always important that full team is fully onboarded on the plan. Everybody knows what plan A is and what alternative outcomes could be, so you can switch pretty fast. Because once the stone is in play, yeah, you don't have all the time in the world to start micro discussions. This needs to curl a bit. Just as dead straight over on that side.
Yeah, that was almost board weight. So
This is an unfortunate miss here.
Like I said before, that was like ice probably for back line. Easy hack and yeah, heavy again. Looks like they're getting caught out on the speed quite a bit.
And meanwhile, a couple of updates over on the other sheets. If I peek over on the A sheet, the Split Housekeepers scored 3 in the fourth and are now leading 4-3 over Team Geising. And over on sheet C, I think I see a 5. No, that's a blank. But all of the scores are in the red zone, which means Team Haninen is winning over Team Mercier there. And the Norwegian team is just trying to block that side over there, trying to prevent Team Ros from doing that hit and stay, score 2. I think the door is pretty much closed there, and it's going to be really, really difficult to get that yellow stone out of a shot position here. It's kind of buried, red stone behind it to lock it in, and then 2 stones in front of it. What are their options right now? Don't know if their corner guards could still find an angle towards the shot stone, but I think the yellow stone is blocking. It's hard to see from this angle, but it could squeeze just behind the yellow stone. I think that's the angle Bart is looking at. Like, can we run the red corner guards into the yellow stone? It's not an easy one. The risk is, and the big risk is, if you don't find a good angle, you hit the red second shot stone and allow a steal of 2, 3, God knows how many. Other options here is trying to do a run back of the center guards and split them on the shot stone and leave the red stone in the back 4 in the shot position. Could be safer to run in a red stone. Looking at options here. Have not decided on the best angle. I don't think it feels like Floris and Bart have different preferences, but it feels like they are trying to come in between the yellow stones. Maybe is the gap big enough that it could squeeze in? Are they looking at running back one of the yellow stones and hoping to clear the shot stone that way? We'll know soon enough based on the weight they'll throw. And again, Floris, no easy stones for him. Has been a bit of the case all game. Trying to run back the yellow stone. Could work. Seems like a very nice stone. Excellent stone. Potential shot of match here, and red is sitting shot. Just one, but that was a hard-fought one, and Team Ros is on the board, and not just on the board, but with an excellent double takeout with a run back. So that should boost the morale for the Dutch team. 1 point. I'm immediately going to add this to the scoreboard to erase the 0 that was out there. But great effort here from Floris. No foreign break. They are immediately moving on. I think that's also because the game was a bit slow paced. I remember Gary saying maybe at some point I should give them a little heads up that they should speed up. Hessel already underway, kicking off the second part of the game. But what a great stone that was from Floris. Yeah, you're never super comfortable having to throw these kind of stones as a last thrower, but when they work out, when they succeed, then the rewards is so huge. Team Bjørke trying to come around that guard there, claim the spot Team Ross was aiming for. Does not quite get deep enough to really get buried behind the guard, so it is 3/4 exposed, enough for Team Ross to hunt it basically. And there it comes. Taps back yellow. Good effort.
Yeah, not sure if he caught that on the mics, but I had to go in and give him a warning. They were like 10 minutes behind on schedule.
Yeah, I assumed because the 4-minute break or the 4-end break was basically not that long, so I kind of guessed that the pace of the game had something to do with the decision to immediately start the 5th end here.
I mean, I get it. The last shot for Team Ross was pretty crucial, but still, you know, taking roughly 2 minutes over one shot. But it's, it was. Both teams definitely contributed to pace of play for this first 4 ends. So we'll see if they take my gentle nudge to heart or if they don't take a blind bit of notice.
Yeah, I think typically when you're in that situation and you have that call, I think with the straightforward stones you keep it paced up, but as soon as there's this kind of big decision moment, teams will still take the time they need to come up with a decision, I suppose.
And it was a pretty cool last shot, so I guess some would say it was worth waiting for. And really necessary for Team Ross as well, to try and change the momentum just a little bit.
Yeah.
They desperately needed to score in that end, or
yeah, trailing 3 points halfway versus trailing 5 points. It kind of makes a difference. Now for the first time, we'll let's see. Got rid of just the one guard here. Still a center guard for Team Ross to try and get behind. That's probably going to be the battle plan for this middle part of the end. Team Ross trying to get behind the center guards, and Team Bjørke trying to get rid of the guards. Starts to curl a bit too soon. I think it will tap the guard, I'm afraid. And that's not really helpful now. With instead of a center guard, there are now 2 corner guards, and that's kind of what the team with the hammer normally likes.
Yeah. Team Bjørke say thank you very much. We'll crawl behind that one.
Yeah. Yeah, sometimes If you see it's over curling, it could be a good plan B to
Just let it
let it go and go for a nose hit if possible. But yeah, it's not always easy to make those calls. Like, can we squeeze it around, or should we abandon plan A? Getting around the guard here, nicely setting in the house, finding the protection slightly deep, but I don't think they will bother too much about it at this point.
Yeah, and you know, I mean, getting behind the corner guard and being deep, I mean, it's obviously they can freeze on top, but yeah, depending on where you are in the game and what your score is, it's not always a bad option.
Starting to curl real nice. And now it's all about finishing it, making sure it's nicely buried behind the guard. It is. Perfect draw here. Perfectly in line with the guard in front of the tee line, and a very, very, very good stone for Hessel Janssens.
Yep, for sure. And yeah, Chateau having the option to try and raise that red onto red, get rid of them, but choosing to put a freeze on top.
Oh.
Just overcurled a bit.
Overcurls a bit, yeah. Sweepers are on it immediately from the start. Maybe they feel like this is light, and I think it is. Float is coming in to help, but this is not crossing the hog line, and this is hogged by close to 2 meters, so way too light this one. A little errors like this give Team Bjørke opportunities to reclaim the initiative here. Getting rid of those corner guards.
Not getting the raise.
No, he was hoping to get it on Yellowstone, but at least Yellowstone is exposed. There is a bit of secondary value there.
You're bearing up, him. It's been a long day for you as well.
Yeah, tomorrow will be an even longer day. I always feel like the second day is the most tough day because in most tournaments you have the most games to stream, but you also have that first day that's in your clothes, and on the last day, then you kind of feel the momentum of kind of the final stages of the tournament. But here we are in the middle of the group stage, with teams looking for their first win. A center guard here. Yeah. An option to try and steal here.
Yeah, first attempt short, and now not covering the rock at all. Couple of costly misses there. Probably kill their own at the back, but then there'll be two in the house. I think he can hit that that front one pretty much anywhere.
It would be nice if they would roll a bit inside, but I think first things first, getting rid of the redstone there. And that leaves Team Ross with a straightforward choice here to come around their center guards. See if they can get it into the forefoot, protected by the guards. And then all they can do afterwards is cross fingers and hope for a miss.
Yeah, the question is, what do you want to do here? I mean, you can draw it behind the red guard, but then if you're too deep, you're leaving Bjørke a way to get rid of both, maybe. You know, you want to be close and reduce the scoring area, but you don't want to leave the other team a way out by just hitting, right? So.
Yeah, but allowing Bjørke to score 1 makes the gap 4 points with 3 ends to go. So maybe they're kind of forced to steal and close that gap. This is very close to the center line, and we know with this amount of weight it will start to curl. Sweepers are on it. Can they get it around the guard? It's starting to curl real hard, and it taps the guards, and this is not what they wanted. Center is open, and that leaves an open draw for 3 here for Team Bjørke, and this mistake can hurt them quite a lot, not just in this end, but also in terms of how this game will progress. Looking at the situation in the house, they still have that redstone sitting in the back, preventing, although is it preventing that Yellowstone? Yellowstone is sitting third, so a decent draw here for Team Bjørke could give them 4 points, and those 4 points can be very, very painful. It's already 3, which is painful at this stage. It's Bjørke leading virtually 7-1, and a fairly easy draw to make that 8. And it was so crucial for Team Ross to really get around the guards, bury it, and the misses basically being a bit too wide and forcing Bjørke to do a takeout, but hitting your own guards, that was very, very unfortunate. And a straightforward draw here comes into the house, probably just letting it slide on the center line, but that is 4 for Team Bjørke. Something to think about, and they were a bit short on a couple of these draws.
Oh, sorry, we missed.
And that was
we forgot the one.
Okay, yeah, it doesn't a bit here, but it's on the scoreboard, and that's It's one too many.
Get rid of this.
Well, first, just the camera angles. Just to
Yeah, 1 2 1 4 1 4. So 1 2 1 1
yeah. 1.
4.
All right.
This needs to be a 1. That needs to be a 4.
Yeah, but there's. All right. Updating the scoreboard there, as we can see. And number 6 on the way here. Feels a bit heavy. Bjørke trying to get it out, but it bites all the way in the back of the house. And Team Bjørke deciding to get rid of their own guards. They don't need the guards. They have a huge point lead here. All they need to do is bring it home. Maybe we'll see handshakes after this one. I'm predicting quite a fast-paced end with lots of takeouts, because basically every stone that's in the house is something Bjørke will just take out. And for Team Ross, it's just about putting up a couple of guards, see if they can score some points here. But they are very, very far from smelling a potential win here in this end. And that draw in the 5th was basically, maybe the straw that broke the camel's back. Now again, we don't want to underestimate or undervalue the qualities of the Norwegian team. As mentioned, they made it very hard for Bjørke to win their first game. They were close to beating the former winner of this tournament in the opening game. Obviously, Team Bjørke not allowing guards there. Hits the back red. It just replaces the stone there.
Unless you've just done it, quick update on the other sheet. So on sheet A, Team Dalla is now up 5-3 over Geising. And we've got our Finnish friends, Team Hanninen, up by 4-1 over the Frenchies, Mercier.
Yeah, interesting for the group. So it means both Mercier and Hanninen looking at 1 win, 1 loss to close the day in their group. And then Same for Team Dalle if they manage to win this game. For Geising, that would mean their second loss. I think a second loss means they will have to win all 3 games tomorrow to be able to have a chance at getting into the knockouts. And a rare missed takeout here for the Norwegian team, Team Bjørke.
Flash.
Yeah, Flash.
Savior of the universe.
Yeah, lucky for Team Bjørke, they are.
They can afford
they can afford it. Yeah, they have a 7-point lead. So.
Well, stranger things have happened. Where was that? In one of the Canadian provincials, I just heard somebody speak about a team being like 6 down with only a couple of ends to play, when you would normally shake, and they stole 4, stole 3.
Oh.
It kind of came from behind to clinch the game. I think it was out in BC somewhere. So, yeah, stranger things have happened, but still, yeah, we need to see a bit of change in the quality of rocks being played to have that kind of a swing here, I think, today.
And the fact that you can recall that from happening means how rare it is in curling that these things happen, especially at a certain level of play. I think if you would visit our club championships on weekdays, more chances of witnessing that type of stuff, or maybe even the Belgium Curling League C. But I don't really expect a team in this event to make this type of comeback.
Yeah. Unfortunately enough, I've been at the receiving end one of these in the 2019 World Seniors. We were playing, I think, was it Wales? And we were like 6 up after 4, and still managed to, snatch defeat from the jaws of victory, as they say. So
yeah, not a great feeling. And I think in the first World Curling Tour event here in Belgium, that was the case in the semi-final between Verreken and Hurtman. Hurtman, they were 5 points behind. Verreken had a very solid point lead, but then Hurtman was able to eventually win the game.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes around the break, funny things happen, right? I mean, one team loses a bit of focus, the other one gets a couple of good shots in a row, and all of a sudden you got that, famous momentum swing.
Mm-hmm.
Good sweep, but not good enough to get it behind. Just covered like a sliver. Can still easily get at that with a hack or even easy board. Or just with a heavy weight and spill your own. I mean,
yeah.
Again, so many points in front, you can afford not to have your rocks hang around. Wide, is he?
Feels a bit wide, and sweepers gave up on that pretty soon. Maybe just too much weight on that one.
Yeah, flash number 2. We need to get that song ready.
Yeah.
Dum 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 dum. Flash. Yeah.
Oh, squeezing around the guards. Can they bury it? It is passing yellow. Is it? I think it is. We'll have to.
Yeah. Just pass it, but at very least it's
sitting in a competitive spot there. But is it though?
Oof.
It from this angle, it feels like it's just a tap short.
Yeah.
But it's touching yellow, so I think if even with some weight, can you reach that redstone and get yellow moving?
Yeah, the button is still wide open, and the way
Yeah.
those rocks are there, they can't. Team Ross won't be able to squeeze out anything unless they're gonna raise the front guard onto the yellow, and then the yellow, which potentially is gonna be behind. Yeah, Team Hannon took another one. So if I can see that correctly, they're up by 6-1.
Yeah, I think they just shook hands there.
Yeah.
See the French players coming inside.
Shetto not able to make that draw. He is blocking off that path to the button there. The Team Ross trying to looking at coming around that guard and trying to at least get to the 4-foot. So, skip stones. See what Flores can do with this one. Desperately needs to try and get something back here.
Yeah, something tells me they are probably gonna shake hands, but they're still gonna try and see if they can get a result in this end.
They can get that round and then lie too. They do have some possibilities. Carve that in. Get it to be second shot.
This one is deep enough. Barely, but it is. And it is second shot, and it leaves not a lot of opening for Bjørke to come in. So, seems like they're looking at angles to open things up, maybe.
Yeah, he can hit his own yellow. It'll spill the one on the right and probably jam on, well, on the left now as we look at it, and then jam on the red on the left. And that would leave Tim Ross lying 1 still, I think. It'll definitely open things up.
Yep.
Yeah, because if they raise red onto red onto red, I mean, one of the reds is always going to stay, the way the angles are lined up looks like. And then raising the other team's rocks is not always your first best choice. Oh, he's going to try and draw in there. There's still room, and the way it cuts, they can still get behind.
Yeah, I think he was just looking at how much of the 4-foot is visible, because they need to be full 4-foot. And well, if they just bite the 4, that's also maybe a result. Leeds makes it maybe harder for Team Ross to score 2 or more here. But yeah, imagine if this is an excellent draw. Needs to curl a bit. The question is it too heavy? Feels like it's going to carry past T line here.
Oh, that's beyond back line. Yeah.
And it is sitting third shots at the moment, and now Bart is looking. Is there a way to get this redstone in a scoring position? I think, yeah, if they have last stone, a straightforward draw to the 8 foot for 3 points would be the obvious call, unless you see an option to score 4, but I don't really see how you can score 4 and bring in that redstone.
Yeah, I mean, I think they were looking at that that red, the left one in the 12 foot, maybe chipping on it, like a little bit like that shot of Homan at last year's World Championship to kind of split it.
Yeah, giving it a nudge, but then the shooter also needs a bit of a spin to come in again and become
almost edge of the 8. Yeah. So if you're Homan, you can probably make that one, but I'm still kind of wondering a little bit why they're coming in from that side.
Yeah, well, maybe the idea is, well, if we settle for 3, then 4 is a lot. Why don't we just do a very difficult one? But God knows if it works. When we score 4, it's 8-5, and we have a game again. Maybe the kind of last resort, do or die option. Because they, if they want to shake hands with 3 stones, they might as well try this. Is this gonna work? It needs the chip.
Yikes.
No chip, so it's at least 3 stones. 3 points. That's also, yeah, they misses 3. But now, do they need to measure? Because we were kind of calling it out as yellow, slightly setting better than red. But is that actually the case? That is the question.
Yeah, we might be proven wrong.
Yeah.
And we can always blame that on the camera angles.
Yeah, no measure so far. I think we were right. And it is 3. And are they going to discuss what to do next? Because 3 is basically a nice end. It's 4-5. And no intention to shake hands. So they are going to continue. Off to the next end.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like you...
Yeah, you have 2 more ends to go.
You're not run out of rocks, right? And yeah, 3, it's... you're way behind, but it's not undoable. Steal 2, steal 1, and you got to draw.
Yeah. Coming in with a center guards. So, Gary, any updates on what's happening over on the other sheets?
Yes, Seat C is still finished. No, we've got Team Dalla took another one, so
Nice.
they're 5-3 up against Geising, and still some juice left in that game. Yeah, that's not bad, and the way those guards are staggered, obviously not any kind of clear way of using them to push them in, but at this point, if you're Team Ross, it can be useful to just push in your guard and bump them and raise them and try and create something that way, because that's a possibility to getting scoring position at the same time, having some backing by keeping the other rocks there. The way they're staggered, there's no clear pushback, so you have no option but to go around. Because remember, their game plan here will be to steal 1 or even 2.
Yeah, they have to. At this point, they don't gain a lot from allowing Bjørke to score 1 and take the hammer back. They really need to hope for 2 steals in a row. Steals of 2 on average to force an extra end.
Yeah. I mean, it's not a bad call from Shettle, but at this point of the game, you're still up. The other team just made 3. Do you want to let them get back in? I would have just cleared everything, opened up the guards. Okay, that just isn't curling. You're gonna nudge the red a little bit. Yep. Loris indicating back 4. He can get to the right side of his own, and he can push it against the yellow. I'm not sure if that space is there.
This is a bit light. Will serve as a third guard right now, but obviously that's not what they wanted.
Not the first time we've seen that today. Question is, how are those angles on the guards? Are they actually directing towards the right-hand yellow, or?
Nice stone here. Now red's gone.
Yeah, if you're Team Ross, you got to score. You're looking for the steals, so at this point of the game, I think you're not too worried anymore about leaving some of the opponent's rocks in the house somewhere, as long as you
squeeze in your one little stone that ends up being shot stone at some point.
bit of a wobble there.
Yep.
Did he push that out?
Yeah, this needs to curl a bit. I think sweeping for curl here.
Even getting to nose, not really what they were looking for. Yeah, of course. Bjørke don't even need to get rid of that. Well, I mean, can potentially hard them if it's raised, but you know, if they slug another one in there, like 8 foot, top 4 maybe. So you got like 4 or 5 of your own rocks in there. I mean, even if they try and get rid of stuff, something's always going to stay, right?
Yeah, and the way those yellow stones are kind of stacked in front of the T line, they also block off a nice spot for red to raise in.
Yeah, just like that previous, they got the line pretty sussed out, whereas Team Russ has been struggling. Yeah, it's about all they've got left. Direct your own. Backline wait to try and keep your own around to possibly do something with it afterwards. Problem is he's got to hit that pretty on the high side, so I'm thinking if he gets that where he wants it to be, his own rock is always going to go 12 foot. Speed looks okay. Skinny line again. No?
Feels like this is over curling. It's already coming on the guards here. And I think it was also a bit on the light side if they were really looking for that tap back. By the way, it's just ends in the mid guard section. Don't think it would have had the weight to really promote red deep enough.
Yeah, and again the angles on those 3 guards completely killing them. Shuttle blocks this off. I think the only one left for them is like raise red onto red and then...
Yeah, I was just going to say the way that redstone was left over there as a corner guard, it's kind of sitting in an annoying place because then you need to kind of do that double tap back. Adding another stone to the back doesn't really change the situation here for Team Ross. And you can still come inside out to catch red on the right side.
Yeah, he's got no option. He needs to play this out to win because he needs to hit that red on the right hand side. Not sure if they play that line all that often, so might be tricky. Yeah, I threw a couple of rocks yesterday during the practice, and those out to ends tended to curl a touch more. Let's see if they got the line figured out on this. It's already gone.
Sweeping for line here, but it curls real hard, just as you mentioned. Catching the guards, coming back inside, tapping another yellow stone in a scoring position here, so made it even a bit worse. Yellow sitting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 right now. 5 stones for yellow in the house. Both teams have one more stone to play. Yellow is looking at just kind of guarding it up. They have an extremely profitable situation, and if they score 5, then it's a mandatory handshake. Then they are mathematically the winner of this game.
Yeah. And that's basic curling, right? Was what we're talking about? Some of the newer teams in the Belgian league who want to play as much as possible, but that's really not curling.
I think that was the game. That was in the weekend. The college boys, they were playing against the Spanish team, Haricada, and they were like, we like curling. They were way behind. They were mathematically lost, but they decided to play a 7th end and an 8th end, and if you don't concede the game, then your opponent is kind of forced to ride it out. So I think somebody had to tell them that the etiquette is at some point you just accept the loss and don't drag it out longer than needed. As we can see, guards coming in here, and now talking about 2 or die stones. This is a very hard. I mean, it's close to impossible to even get shots, even with getting those stones in. Will red be the shot stone? That is I mean, you might run it in with some nice angles, but will it be shots? There's 3 yellow stones you have to deal with. You might get out 2 if you kind of get it in the middle of those 2 yellow stones, but I think that the 3rd yellow will still remain shot after that. It is a pleasing thing to watch, that's for sure.
Technically it might be there indeed. If he squeezes his red in between those the 2 yellows that are on the right hand side in the forefoot, then I think he might be shot. But woof. And to do that on a race as well. I mean, it's hard enough getting the angle right on a straightforward run back, but then
this has to be absolutely perfect, and a millimeter off, and it will not work. But then again, you're out of options. It's like in poker, but sometimes you just have to go all in.
Yeah, and by the way, they don't have hammer, so Team Bjørke still has 1 left after this.
Yeah.
Oof. No way. Not.
No.
That was way inside. Okay, so they can just lob 1 in there for a 6-ender. I think that's the 2nd one that we've seen today then. Meanwhile, on sheet A, Team Geising took 1 end back, but it was only a 1-pointer, so 5-4 in that game, going into the 8th. So Geising needs to steal 1 to square it up.
Last stone of the game here.
What do you think?
I'm thinking this is just one for the gallery, but the result of the game has been determined quite some time ago. It's just a bit unfortunate for Team Ros that this number will be on the boards, but the friendly handshake will come here, and I'm counting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 yellow stones, topping the score to a 14-4 victory here for team from Norway.
Yeah, pretty decisive, but indeed, Team Ros just a few several too many errors, and then.
Yeah, nothing you can do about it. I think for Team Ros, it's off to tomorrow. but they know what to do tomorrow. They'll have to win back-to-back matches and then hope for a couple of lucky things. But I think if you win 3 matches, you still have a chance. But let's walk back to the booth. So yeah, what was your kind of how would you narrate this this game? What would be your summary?
Almost, I mean, I'm afraid to say it, but almost a comedy of errors on the part of the Dutch team, right? I mean, a couple of ones too heavy, quite a few either too narrow or misjudged the sweeping, like we talked about with that late curl. So yeah, I mean, you can get away with a couple of those during a game, but if your opponent is playing fairly solid, again, right up until the end, we saw with Team Bjørke, they were both on that takeout and on that draw. They were getting the line right. They were getting the weight right. If you play against a team like that, I mean, you really can't have a multitude of errors. It's as simple as that.
Yeah, I think, I mean, in Florida's defense, he had to throw difficult stones with the last stones every time. It's not easy. And I think the crucial moment in the game for me, the kind of decisive moment, was the 5th end, where they had an opportunity to come around, draw, and steal. They were chasing 4-1 at the time. That's just a 3-point gap, but that was feasible if they managed to get that steal. It's 4-2. They're still in the race. They can move on. But leaving that draw short, allowing basically Team Bjørke to just score 4 instead. Scoreboard resulted then to 8-1, and I think at that point, for me, it felt like the game was over. Maybe for the players, they felt like, okay, let's just try one more end. Who knows? And they did manage to score 3, so that was a good result. But yeah, the score gap was so big, even 3 was not good enough. They were forced to take risks, go for difficult shots over and over and over, and Bjørke, they could just continue playing the scoreboard, and even the 3-ender was not enough for Team Ross to come back. But yeah.
No, definitely. I mean, that 5th end was probably the tipping point, like you said. But even what was it, 2nd and 3rd end, where they were a little bit heavy on their draws because being 3 and 4 behind as opposed to taking 1 and then it just being a 1 or 2 gap difference. I mean, that makes a huge that can make a huge differentiator.
Yeah. Well, on the bright side, we had our predictions right, both Sean and I. We voted for Team Bjørke, which means currently I have a perfect streak of 3 correct predictions in a row. So topped it off with 1. So John, even though he's not here, congratulations, John. So tomorrow you also have a fighting chance. Speaking about tomorrow, Saturday, the 2nd day of the group stage, we will have tons of matches. Let's say 11 in total. 4 of them will be streamed, and yeah, I think we're all set to watch some great curling tomorrow, as the group stage will be concluded by tomorrow around this time. And on Sunday, of course, Sunday is the big finale day with the knockout phase. Let's not drag it out too long. Let's say thank you. Unfortunately, we cannot do the interview. I'm sorry for that, because we had a technical issue. But if you are here tomorrow morning, let's see who's here tomorrow morning. We can give them a pre-game interview maybe as a compensation. That could be a nice touch.
Or I can lend shut on my headset. We can do that.
Maybe that's a better idea. Yeah, let's do that. Yeah. This is a first exclusive.
Shuttle and beer.
Yeah.
Yes.
Or
Supposed to be, isn't it? Yeah. Maybe I need a chair to get down here.
yeah. So here's the camera. Just watch in there. And first things first, congratulations with the win. Almost 2 wins today. We watched the last part of the game against Bjørke, and that was a strong performance. Just this close from winning. But again, it's this game was totally different. It felt like, especially after the 5th end, where they left it short, you were able to score, I think, 4 out of that 5th end. And then felt for us like the game settled here. But how would you summarize this game and then today, basically?
They played really well the first end, and we were pressed there, and I managed to save us in the first end with a good draw, and then I guess we started playing really well. We had 2-3 really well rounds there, I would say. Lasse made a beautiful double. We had some really key shots that we made. So really proud of the boys there. And then we read the ice good, and I think we found ourselves, and we were a bit down from the tough defeat earlier today, so we wanted to raise our levels a bit, and we really wanted a win this game. And but the young team there, they're probably gonna be better than us, but
yeah, at one point.
yeah, at one point. But we were really happy with this win, and we're proud. It's our first event on the World Curling Tour, so we're in there to learn a bit as well. But we keep playing like this, we're gonna be hard to beat. So we made some. They made some small mistakes, and then we were able to punish them. And then, but they're a young, good team. So now in good curling tradition, we'll have we'll offer them something to drink, probably some Cokes. The young boys will have a beer.
Yes, indeed. Yeah, like you mentioned. A first game where it was super close, and then you have to play a game immediately after. Like, how do you deal with a disappointment, a short break, and then resetting your spirits for the next game?
I think it was good thing that was a short break. Somehow, I mean, we're some of the guys also have some troubles with their knees and some things like this. So then, while they still. We get to play while the old bodies is still warm and ready. I don't like actually, playing in the morning game and then wait all day and then play a night game. I don't like that. So I think it's better to kind of go with the flow when the bodies are warm, and also when you have the defeat just on the top of the head. You really want to go to...
you want to kind of clear your mind and get that in the past as well, kind of erasing it with a new victory.
As soon as possible.
As soon as possible. Yeah, but I mean, that's the reason why we do our predictions, John and I, and we both decided you were the favorite to win the game, and that was also based on the strong result against Verreken, because Verreken is not just any team. They're the strongest team in Belgium. They were the winner of this event last year, but also in the World Curling Tour, the Europeans, the B division. They managed to reach the playoff stage. They were knocked out by Denmark, basically coming down to the last stone, because they were virtually winning and they needed Denmark to throw a very good last stone. God knows if they would advanced, maybe they would have promoted to A. And curling can be this close. I mean, sometimes it tips in your favor, sometimes it doesn't, but it was a strong result against a strong team. Yeah,
and we had really good chances there. So my last stone was a bit too long, but that's curling. Common mistake there. The first one a little bit too soft, and then you want to do a little bit more, and then one small bit too.
Yeah, let's have a quick look at your group. You can see it on screen. So virtually, you now have the 1-1 situation, 1 win, 1 loss.
Yeah. So the key match now, of course, will be with our friends, Team Westerberg. I will maybe say they're the favorites in the group. I rank them as at least up there with Verreken. That's the two, at least ranked, the best ranked teams. So if we want to advance, we need to beat them. And of course, the Hungarians also. But I like the group and the whole event there. It's amazing with 9 different nations. That's 10 teams and 9 different nations. That's quite unique, I think. And for us, we've been playing Oslo Cup a couple of times on the Nordic Curling Tour, and then we met. We had Muskatovic and Schuster in the group last this year, and last year we had Dean and so that's kind of
that's on the world level stage.
That's a bit too much for us. So it's really cool for us to come down here, and we kind of spotted this tournament quite early and saying, okay, this tournament we might win a game or two. So that's that's something we've been looking for, and the atmosphere here is great, Gary. All the hosts, the things you do here with Kurdia. We're really big fans of that. And
oh, thanks. That's always nice to hear.
yeah, and how cool is it? Being interviewed after the games, and I really love what you do here. So and the ice has been fantastic. Also, that would I'm actually a bit surprised that you didn't get even more teams. With Mark Callan coming, making the ice. It's like
that's
the goat of
the goat of ice making.
Yeah.
Basically, almost a poster boy of the event at some point. A huge celebrity.
Yeah. So but we're having a great time, and now. We're going probably out with Team Westerberg to have a couple
nice.
of beers before we meet them tomorrow. So we'll buy a couple of rounds for sure, just to make them, have something to sleep on. Yeah.
Talking about drinks, earlier today,
Yeah.
I was gifted these. I'll show it on camera. These two nice little Norwegian bottles. For me, they are kind of an unknown liquor brand, but can you tell us?
It's Akavit. That's like the main spirits in Norway, especially around Christmas, but also in summer. We drink it. It's potato liquor, really good stuff. So
definitely have to try it then.
Yeah.
Cool.
But I think.
I think we are close of wrapping it off, kind of saying goodbye and hoping a lot of people will watch tomorrow. Maybe like a final question. You mentioned it earlier. A lot of teams here on our roster, a lot of foreign teams, different nations. I think the Nordics are well represented. We just missed Denmark. Otherwise, we would have a nice package. If you had to make a prediction, let's say on two teams reaching the final, except for Team Bjørke, of course, which teams do you kind of put forward?
If you look at their slides and their technique, the Chinese team looks really, really good. They should be in there. I think I haven't watched their results, but I guess they should be in there. Westerberg, I think, also is a really strong team, and Mercier looked good, and Verrykken, and then. After this game, I'll hold us as an outsider there. We're going to fight for it, at least.
Yeah, because in your group, I think it's still a tough competition. Like the top three, only 2 spots go kind of promote to the knockouts. And I think Westerberg, Verrykken, you guys, pretty strong. Hungarian team can still surprise. So everything is basically still wide open. It's way too soon to really kind of rule out a team. It's going to be difficult for Team Ross with 2 losses right now. But then again, who knows? Maybe they have a good night's sleep, drink some of this potato stuff, and tomorrow they will be completely energized.
Well, they have 2 losses, but it
hasn't updated with the final score of today. Your win has to be added up to the table, and then their loss.
Yeah. Okay.
But I think I will leave the honor to you to wave the viewers goodbye and to basically encourage them to definitely tune in tomorrow for more games.
Tune in. There's going to be more games. I think we also have a television game tomorrow broadcast against the Hungarians, which is a key match in our group. So
make sure you all watch. I mean, you didn't hear it from me. You heard it from this guy, and he seems small, but he's sitting down. If he stands up, you don't want to disagree with somebody with a physique like that. So
just a shout out to everybody in Big Day Curling Club that have been supporting us for a whole lot of years, and we're gonna make you proud, boys. Olav, Christian.
You can say it in Norwegian. That will be the first time ever on Kurdia somebody saying something in Norwegian.
Yes, Olav, Christian, Svein, alle veteranene, og selvfølgelig alle andre. Tor, ikke minst. Tor Fredriksen, som har vært med på laget i alle år, og gamle Drøy Kostere. Takk for i kveld, og vi ses i morgen. Okay.
I'll trust you on that. I don't speak a word Norwegian, but it's probably good. So on that note, goodbye everybody, and tune in tomorrow.